Hello everybody, so my name is Nitin Metkawa, aka Zaternalix. So I'm actually working as a DevOps engineer at Orange Business Service. I've been participating in several hackathons, ITF hackathons for TLS 1.3, SSH, and also several non-ITF hackathons as well. So I always thought that automating infrastructure is very cool until there was an incident where everyone was suspecting the automation team doing it, but it was a DNS. So that's how I came into DNS, and what's really most interesting is the cryptographic structure that envelopes the DNS. That's the DNS key. So, for me, the job of the security is not just to make things perfect, but there are lots of attacks going on, and we better try to make hackers' life hard. And that is the use of DNSSEC and to secure the DNS specifically. There are many innocent domain names hidden. For example, I don't know, let's say the piratebay.org. How many of you can't visit Pirate Bay from your place? Probably someone is lying to you. The good catch is that you know that someone is lying to you, and basically using the cryptography power with DNSSEC will allow you to anonymize, not just to anonymize the traffic for the, to cryptographically use the traffic, but also to use other protocols such as DNS or HTTPS to anonymize your traffic for DNS. So the KSK key is used to cryptographically sign the ZSK. So the ZSK is used by root zone maintainers to stamp the DNSSEC signature of the internet DNS. Coming back to the KSK, it is simply given to DNS resolvers or system administrators and engineers, everyone, because that's the public key which you should use on your codes, on your projects, on your DNS resolvers to secure yourself. So that key is public. So signing the DNS where possible is important. We have reached this level almost after 22 years, I think. And the number of RFCs on DNS is unbelievable. Even if I count all the fingers in my hands, the number of RFCs is really like so many. It won't be enough. So, something interesting about DNSSEC is that if you sign the DNSSEC, you know that you're getting the right answer. And because you get the right answer, you're confidential that the root zone is answering you back. But the most interesting about DNSSEC is that DNSSEC have a date. Imagine you visit a website, sign DNSSEC, and the date is wrong. So it might be like a replay attack going on. So you should be careful even when using DNSSEC. Always check the date to prevent any kind of DNS replay attack. So I will share more information about more RFCs, especially from a guy from Power DNS later on. You can also see in Africa we're doing lots of contribution for DNSSEC, and especially about the Operation KSK rollover hackathon. We have rollover several keys on the hackathon. We still have more pending projects going on. If ever any one of you interested, just come and meet me afterwards, and you can share the projects. It's just about to roll keys on the net for several projects, open source projects. So it all happened on 11th of October at 11:00 UTC. where the new cryptographic key has been rolled over anew. This is because in cryptography, there is no such key that lasts forever. The law of physics says that at any point of time, everything is going to disappear. Similarly, DNS key, the key is the same. It's not going to last forever. Someone someday is going to crack into it. That's why we need to roll over the KSK key. So the current cryptography of the root key is based on prime number factorization. And cryptography makes this very good because the factorization keys is composed of composite numbers. In some ways with technology, some maybe with quantum computing in afterwards with times, someone going to figure out how to break into cryptographic keys. That's why we need to roll over the key. So that's fine. Some music just in the background. So anyone recently have been doing have roll over the key, the KSK key? So that's fine. But the good thing is that there's still lots of debate for new rollover keys. That's going to happen later on. So I was saying that this is because in cryptography there's no such keys that last forever, because the laws of universe at some point of time everything's going to go black. What looks good today might not look good tomorrow. That's which is very important, and keys need to be changed. The other factor is that key might get compromised. Someone not supposed to find the key might find it. That's another reason why you should change your key. There's not only the factor about the key is going to be dead, but there's also the factor that the key can be in the hands of another one. That's why we need to change key regularly. And the moment someone gets that keys, I call it oops. The oops moment when things goes wrong. Yeah. So there is still a big debate in ICANN where and when are we going to change for the next key KSK rollover? Probably in 2 years. It depends. So I mentioned previously that the KSK is used to cryptographically sign the ZS key, and the keys are given to system admins. Since keys are given to system admins, engineers, how many of you are into engineering team? Doing monitoring? Okay, support, anyone? Okay. It's important to have a monitoring for KSK rollover. Imagine that the key has been changed and everything goes black. The support team will keep on looking where's the problem, where in fact it's just about the KSK, which has not been rolled over. Well, however ready we are about RFCs, which specifies the updates of DNSSEC, and RFC 7958 was a publication of the KSK. This is very important. So for beginners here who want to learn more about the KSK, I would suggest you to read the efforts of Bert Huber. So Bert Huber is the author of Power DNS, and has also created the RFC, contributed to RFC 5452. I did not publish it here, but you can just take note, the RFC 5452, which is a good RFCs for beginners if you want to learn more about DNSSEC and the KSK rollover. So that guy, thanks to him, beginners can now understand more about Power DNS and DNSSEC. So if you want to test if a website has been DNSSEC signed, or you want to test any resolvers have been DNSSEC signed, you can just go on that link. I can mention here. So that link, dnssec.debugger.verisignlabs.com. You can just type the domain name there and have a look if it's signed or not. For example, if you type afrinic.net on the DNS debuggers, you're going to find that it's signed and it's working fine. Also, you can use a dig command, which is you can use, for example, to check the date and all. about the RFC concern. Yeah, you have noted also, I think. And it's important to use DNSSEC to prevent cache poisoning, because cache can be tampered easily. It can happen that you're visiting a website when it's not really that website. It's someone else's website. So you can always check for DNSSEC compatibility. So a number of folks write really good codes, but you might be doing some error. Someone might be doing some error. Why I say that? Because one classic mistake is by taking the old KSK value and put it into codes. I have noticed that in many codes, people are still using the old keys, which is really wrong. And it's good if ever you find that old keys in codes, you can easily make a search on, for example, you want to audit a specific code which is available on any GitHub repository. So feel free to do that and report the bug, because these guys have only 30 days to roll over their keys. Otherwise, it's going to be dead. So it's really a bad move, because when the key rolls, you risk that the domain name goes black and disappear. So a need to institute a discipline of rolling the key need to be established. You have 30 days to do that, as I said. And if resolver says, I trust this key, you must be wondering where it gets the key. The hint there is that it forwards the request to the root zone from time to time. And some people did not trust the key when it was rollover. Some agreed. Unfortunately, there were some DNS resolvers that even switch off DNSSEC during the KSK rollover. I will give you a blog where some analysis have been doing since long, and it's very interesting. If you can go through that, you're going to find several ISPs even in Africa where there were several incidents for KSK rollover, and they publish it on that blog. I'm going to give you it in some minutes. So, coming back to DNS keys, it's not always good to manually update the keys on the code. There is also automation facilities now. Many developers are using the curl command to catch the key necessary. Then, using that key, it insert it directly into the code, and even send email if you want, just to automate things. This is the best idea to do it. You might be wondering if there are RFCs about it. Probably not, probably yes. But I think that's a good way maybe you can contribute about that if you want. So, there have been incidents reported, especially in Ireland, where some ISPs did not roll over their keys, and it was a very big mess. Many people did not have been able to connect on the internet. And for DNSSEC validation, you will find statistics about ISPs in the world. The Africa region is also impacted, like I said. The website is potaru.net. You can just take note, go on potaru.net, and you're going to find a blog post about KSK. And that guy published so many ISPs which have been impacted. So you can have a look about that. There's a considerable amount of information on the Infoblox community as well. So if you go on Infoblox, you will find Ansible playbooks which you can use to automate things for the KSK rollover. So this community for Infoblox have really good information. So you can have a look at this as well. Also, if you're from the cloud security or networking team, it's going to help you. Feel free to have a look at the community. At cyberstorm.mu, we have a team of 16 guys working on several projects. One of the projects is a KSK rollover hackathon. like I mentioned, we need more people in the cyberstorm.mu to contribute to projects. For the KSK rollover itself, we still have lots of projects pending, and due to time and resource scarcity, we are looking for people to contribute in that. Feel free to join us if you want. So several patches have been sent to several projects such as SumoCoin, Lua, Unbound. These are projects for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoins, Litecoins. So patch have been sent to these projects, and myself, I work on a project called NAGVAL. So NAGVAL is a Nagios and Isinga plugins to validate DNSSEC. Maybe you have been using Nagios for monitoring purpose. Yeah, you have been using. Good. So we have a plugin called NAGVAL. For NAGVAL, you can validate if there is DNSSEC or not. So that project, there is a patch merge for that. So you can have a look at it. So, if in case you want to have more information about that concerning the hackathons and you want to imply yourself, feel free to contact us at contact@cyberstorm.mu. Okay. So another important thing is that documentation. Whenever you are setting up DNSSEC or your company is already using DNSSEC, documentation is very important. Always check for documentation. Because when you started doing DNSSEC, you forget. And the key KSK rollover, you don't know when it might change again. Like there's still a debate when to change the key, and it may happen in 2 years. So documentation is very important at this point. So test your rescue about DNS resolvers. Make sure to keep up to date with new patch of DNS resolvers. Because even if you're running DNS resolvers, you should make sure that you have updated that resolvers. Otherwise, it's going to be like having a bad day. Everything goes black and it's not going to be good. Yeah. So I said we already have 20 pull requests already for DNSSEC key. So you can just see our GitHub repo, github.com/cyberstormmu. So lesson learned. From this, we can deduce that no key is eternal. Like I said, we need to change key from time to time. And if this is not changed, it's going to be very bad. Like I said also, the best plan can fail at any time. The keys can get into the hands of others. And finally, the consequence is going to be very bad. We also need to set up a discipline for that, regulate a very good discipline for DNS. What was difficult yesterday might be very easy today because things keep on changing. There is technology now. Everyone can crack keys at any time. So that's why we need to focus lots in cryptography and focus about changing all over the KSK key from time to time. Something really interesting is that when you're visiting a website which does not have DNSSEC on it, you can't know from which resolvers it is going to parse. DNS don't have like a DNS trace query. Don't know that. It does not exist. But if you use DNSSEC, you can reassure yourself you're visiting the right website. So any question up to now? If anyone want to talk about how accurate, want to talk about DNS? How many of you want to check if you're visiting website which have DNS compatibility? I showed the link here. So any question about DNSSEC? Who want to check our website having issue for DNS compatibility? Okay. Okay, no, that's working now. That's fine. So I was also saying that the current DNS is currently very slow. We are using, it's super old, and we are using codes that have been standardized in 1983. And now we are already in the 2018. The interesting thing is that on February, 1st February 2019, there's going to be a big change in DNS. And the ISC, Internet System Consortium, have already provided us a link to verify if there's any problem on your website you're visiting or any issue on your link. You can check it on you can have a look on ednscomp.isc.org. It's on the slide. If you visit that website, you can check it. It will be useful really on the 1st February. Because this is where there's going to be the big change in eDNS. So there's still a great debate from open source project as to whether to join DNS Day or not. I believe they should, for example, systemd. There's a big debate for systemd about it because we need there are lots of workarounds that need to be carried out. There's a lot of workarounds that need to be carried out for DNS, especially in eDNS. Because the guys from systemd are still debating about it. You can check it on a website. I can share it afterwards with you. Also, DNS presents in many CPEs. Perhaps another hackathon would get the firmware and a good idea for the next hackathon for DNS. If anyone wants to adventure about hackathons next year for the 1st of February 2019, I would consider to check for DNS MOSQ because this is going to impact. This is going to impact us on the 1st of February 2019, and for the ITF hackathon, maybe some guy going to work on that project, and myself I'm going to be to work on that for the 1st of February. And don't forget to use that link ednscomp.isc.org/ednscomp. This is where you can test for compliance of your website. So that's a good day. The DNSFlagDay.net, you can check that website as well. Really good information on it. Whatever is happening for DNS Flag Day, it will be there. So let's work together for the betterment of the internet, not just for Africa, but for the whole world. And I believe everyone here is going to feel, probably going to know on the 1st February 2019, they're going to be, I wish no one, it's not really something bad happens, but I think that it's going to pause it's going to be very, very cool, smoothly, and yeah. So any questions?
Thank you for your attention. We have 6 or 5 minutes remaining. So if you have any question, please move to the microphone, give your name, your organization, then you put your question.
Yeah. We have one question.
Esmond Sami, Board of Directors of AFRINIC, but I'm also a cryptographic officer for the region for DNSSEC. Sorry, I missed the beginning of the presentation. I would like to know your opinion about the impact of this DNSSEC key rollover, which happened a few weeks back in Africa.
So, like I mentioned on potaru.net, maybe you was a little bit late. Yeah, on potaru.net, there has been an assessment carried out already. There are statistics there. How many ISPs have been impacted? Even in Africa, we have so many ISPs impacted. And some ISPs, unfortunately, they switch off DNSSEC validation on that day. But still, we have 30 days to roll over the keys. Obviously.
Okay, I know that it's Jeff Houston from AFRINIC who does the studies on Potaro. I know the story because I'm on all the mailing list, by the way. Yeah. From what I understand, there's very, very little impact in Africa. And I would like some feedback from people in the room who are from Africa, who experience DNS outages due to the rollover. Thank you.
Yeah, we invite anyone if you want to share about it. I personally did not encounter any impact, but since I work at Orange Business Services,
may I point out that I'm also from Mauritius, and I don't think that you would have any impact on your services because Mauritius Telecom and MTEL do not do DNSSEC validation.
Yeah, we don't do that, yeah. But we have companies in France. No one gets impacted yet.
Yeah. So my question to you, you are from Orange Business Services, which is in partnership with some ISPs in Mauritius. So why don't you turn on DNSSEC validation?
We're still in the development of doing that. There are lots of workaround going on, and in the next few days, there's going to be some. There's also the domain name which are going to be. We are working on that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I've been doing validation since over 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a minor person.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go to look for workarounds and all when the code is already out there? It's just a switch. It's just a matter of putting the trust anchor.
This point, I think we are talking about DNSSEC and KSK rollover. This is not the best platform to discuss which ISPs, which DNS resolver, which ISPs is not doing DNSSEC. There are also the consideration about, for example, let's say you have a root domain which does not support DNSSEC. That is another debate.
Didn't really understand your answer. My comment was about DNSSEC validation. We've been,
No, you bring the subject directly to my company. I work for France Telecom, which is a sub to Mauritius Telecom, and now you question me about Mauritius Telecom.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Does your company do DNSSEC validation?
France Telecom do lots of DNSSEC validation with Infoblox. Infoblox guys works with us, and we have customers doing DNSSEC validation.
I mean for your users, for your user base.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question, please? Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nitin. So we move to the next presentation from Nagila Triki, who's going to give us an update or more information about benefits of THD networks. Have the floor now.